Hello everyone, it's Sally, and today I'm going to be showing you a really quick tutorial on how to fit an asset to an avatar and weight paint it using robust weight transfer. For reference, all of my buttons are going to be down here unless I'm in sculpt mode, and my little face over here will not be obstructing anything that you will be using, so do not worry about my little noggin right here. One thing, actually, that I'm going to say is I will be using cats for this, simply to make my asset into a T-pose, since that's what my character is in. So if I do start pose mode on the correct armature, I'm just going to fix this, apply as rest pose, and we will not be using cats for anything else. Now that I've done that, I'm just going to delete anything that I'm not going to be using. Obviously, to keep what you need in your project. And I'm going to delete the armature of my asset. Once I've done that, I personally will use the the S and G keys to fit this, quote unquote, as close to my avatar as I can get without going into sculpt mode. Maybe make this a little bit bigger. What will help if I go up to object and I set my origin to geometry. That'll make it a little bit easier. Something that is really good practice that I forgot to add in the video. Imagining that I'm about to start sculpting this onto my body, I'm going to press on my asset. I'm going to go to my data tab, and I'm going to delete, again, unless you have fizz bones on your asset, delete all of these, because I do not need overlaps of old ones. And I haven't had it yet, but I know that this having vertex groups that you don't need can mess it up. And all your vertex groups will be added again when you do robust weight transfer. Okay, back to the video. Once I've done that, I'm going to head over to my sculpt tab. If you don't have a sculpt tab, this plus button, general, and sculpting is where you will find it. Ignore all of these, you will not have them. And you'll be using these two rows down here. Personally, I like to start everything off with a good elastic grab. I'm going to make sure I'm mirroring up here. And I'm just going to hit it with a bunch of elastic grabs. Depending on the asset that I am fitting, I will use basically all of these. So don't just limit yourself to the elastic grab tool. You know, use everything that is at your disposal, you know, for the best results. Like, sometimes if I have an area that is supposed to be flat, you know, using a grab tool to just, like, basically force it into the position that I want it to be, it won't be that helpful. So instead I'll use, like, my flattening brush or my plateau brush. And, you know, this is kind of hard to look at just because, you know, it's white and white on white and white. So actually I'm going to go up here to my shading tab and I'm going to select random. This makes it a little bit easier to see. Just going to do a rough fitting of everything, because I won't be using this avatar otherwise, so it doesn't really matter to me. But I'm going into X-ray mode using Alt-Z. However, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, that is most likely set to set up your NVIDIA graphics. There's like an app for it, I think. So if you have issues with that, there's also this button up here to toggle on and off X-ray. You can also change in your graphics tab. You can change that, or in Blender you can change it to whatever you want it to be. Personally, I just have it turned off because I don't need it. Once my little rough sculpt is done here, let me fix the neck actually, so that she can breathe. Once, you know, my little rough sculpt here is done, I don't see any major clipping issues, so I won't worry about anything that isn't too big. I'm going to go back into my layout tab. Doesn't really matter if you're in layout or modeling. I just prefer layout. Once I'm in here, I'm going to select my asset. I'm going to go into my modifiers tab, and this blank armature modifier that I did have my original armature in it, I'm going to want to select my armature that is on my avatar because it does need that information to be able to move and transfer. Next thing I'm going to go into Scent, that is the creator of robust weight transfer. Under source, I'm going to press body, or I can also just use this eyedropper tool. Either works. And then I'm just going to hit transfer weights. After that, it should basically be entirely done. It is just a tool, so if you do have issues, you know, fix them on your own. Like, yeah, I have a little clipping here when I bend over, which is something I would fix normally by going up to object mode, selecting my armature and then my asset, and fix it through here. But since this is just a small project that I'm only using for a tutorial, it doesn't matter too much to me. But yeah, remember, when you're using robust, you want your source to be your body, and you do want an armature modifier in there. And that is literally just how it works. If it's not working, make sure you have the correct version of robust weight transfer. I personally have an older version because I'm on an older version of Blender. I hope that this helped. If you have any more tutorial ideas for me, if you have any other questions, I have a Discord linked below. You can also just comment, but I might not see it until a couple months later just because I'm not usually on YouTube. But yeah, I hope that this helped. Anyways, bye bye!